Hi y'all! Welcome back to Bogue, Baby Vogue, where our current drip exceeds our current species capacities. If you have not been around for some of my previous videos, we're essentially going through the mess that we have collectively made. Now, that is a mess that is collectively our problem, to collectively solve and rewrite all of the infrastructure that we have collectively already put together through dismantling the transnational crime organization. Yeah. Essentially, y'all, we need to have a mass awakening of our third mind's eye to clearly see all of the deceptive events that are being formed and shaped around us through the transnational crime organization, who is instilling and injecting fear. Fear of what? Aliens. Trying to what? Weaponize space. For what? Regime. Totalitarian control. Delaying what? Free energy. 1.0 species. This is where we should have already been for the last century. Y'all heard that? Century. In some of my future videos, I'm going to be going into 0-point energy and a new setup, if you will, a new way to organize society. Yes, I do have very heavy Virgo placements in my chart. We need to organize society in what I am referring to as symbiotic abundance network. So I'm going to be going through that as well in some of my future videos. Now, I want to discuss just briefly when it comes to having 0-point energy integrated into our society. It's going to be a multi-phase, we can't just rip the band-aid. We obviously can't quantum leap like we should be quantum leaping. So we got to take it, you got to walk, then we're still crawling. Okay, so we're going to crawl into our 0-point energy phase. We're going to crawl. It's going to be okay. We're going to crawl, and then we're going to walk. And we're going to moonwalk into that 0-point energy phase. Now, it will have to be broken down into multiple phases, of course, to actually be integrated properly. One of them is going to be with first ending all poverty with all species of consciousness on planet Earth. Okay? We're feeding everybody. We're feeding all different walks of consciousness, to include animals. Okay? And then one of the other phases, and there might be some phases in between, right? These are things that we're going to have to do together, set up together. Now, another phase is, of course, going to be after getting all of our 0-point energy set up, we're also going to have to be able to fly in outer space. That might be like the very end, latter part. We do also need to organize and set up having ethical AI, and so it's going to be another video because this is deep, and I want to make sure that we go through this very methodically, very organized, very structured. But yes, so that is coming down the pike. Be excited for that. One of the absolute quickest ways we can start to really crawl together, okay, is meditation. You might be laughing at me, how is meditation going to solve world peace? Well, it would have already, but we don't do that collectively, so here we are, needing to clean up our mess. Meditation, a collective consciousness, when we sit into meditation, y'all, what happens is we are recalibrating with source, the all mind, the one mind, one heart, one soul, one frequency, might I say one tone, one harmonic tone. unity, oneness. When we sit in meditation and tap into what we naturally are, the field of oneness, one consciousness, one mind, non-locality, we can collectively actually shift into tipping the scales from these psychopaths winning. We can tip the scales. It just takes 1% of our world population. You see how powerful this is? It takes 1% of our world population to be able to tip the scales towards winning this god-awful mess. Now, I don't mean to be so harsh. It's just really frustrating because, and I know there are going to be people that understand where I'm coming from with this energy. It's frustrating that we have so much pain. Even our Mother Gaia, Mother Earth cries. The weather patterns, like, there's so much pain, so much despair. There's people on the streets, there's dogs that are starving, there's war, there's endless things. There's cancer. These things are created from destructive energies. They're not created from oneness, singularity. They're created from distorted light. So it's up to us to actually undo and redo. Yes, it's a mess. But yeah, I don't mean to be so harsh. Essentially, guys, everything does happen for a reason. So there is a reason that we're going this route. And we might not understand why we decided to go this route collectively right now. Right meow. However, we'll probably understand on future timelines. For example, perhaps another civilization will be able to look at our own history and learn from us, because we haven't been able to learn from our own history. Anyways, okay. So, Dr. Stephen Greer, if you have not become buddy-buddy with Stephen Greer, please do. He's the one who has coined the fact that it just takes 1% of our consciousness to be able to tip the scales in a positive direction and to be able to change the route that our species is heading towards, to unravel, to undo, and to redo this whole mess, getting us from a 0 to a 1 civilization. Because right now we're still in beta mode. It's a beta, baby betas. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this society anymore. I don't. I'm so done. I'm so done. I've been done. I'm so done. Okay, sorry. So I want to start breaking down some of the solutions to all of these problems, because it's one thing to just be like, oh, problems. Yeah, problems everywhere. Problems everywhere you turn and look. Problems. You can't even blink your eyes without having problems, because even when you shut your eyes, you have problems internally. Because we're not on the path of integrated oneness. We're still in fragment reality, which is false, illusion, control, manipulation. This is primitive, barbaric. Okay. I want to go through some of the solutions that Dr. Greer, my boy, my freaking homie, is promoting, and also some other solutions that we can add in, which we'll see they might already be adding these solutions in behind the scenes. I just don't know, because I'm not behind the scenes in the covert operations to undo some of these issues. I did meditate today. This is righteous anger, guys.